And we are back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Potted Plant Entertainment. Yes, that's right. We're here today with another review. I know it's 2026 has been a good year so far here on Potted Plant Entertainment. I've done, oh gosh, this is like my 5th video, I think, already for the year. We're on a roll here, so let's keep this ball rolling. Today, we are going to be talking about probably one of the best horror movies ever and that movie is The Evil Dead. Look, you may be wondering, Chris, it's February. Why are you talking about this movie right now? Why didn't you save this for like a Halloween special? Well, I watched this movie last night, and I was like, you know what? I want to talk about it. Yeah, it's February. It doesn't really make too much sense to review this movie in February, but I don't care, okay? Like, established this years ago. This is a channel where I'm just going to talk about what I want, when I want, just do my thing, and I want to talk about The Evil Dead. So we're going to talk about The Evil Dead. I can't guarantee I'm going to like follow this up immediately with a review of Evil Dead 2, but today you're getting The Evil Dead, all right? So, The Evil Dead came out in 1981. It stars Bruce Campbell, Ellen Sandweiss, Richard McManacor, Betsy Baker, and Teresa Tilly, and it was directed by the great Sam Raimi. Oh, yes. The Evil Dead is a phenomenal movie. The reason that it's so great is because there is so much passion for what was made here. Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell were both, I believe, 22 when they made this movie. They started out making Super 8 movies, going around to investors saying, hey, look, this is what we can do. If you can give us a budget, we can do something even better than this. And that's how they got this film off the ground. There is so much passion for filmmaking that just oozes off the screen throughout this whole trilogy, not just this movie, the whole trilogy. And that's why this movie stands the test of time, because Sam Raimi loved what he was making. He is an artist, he made his art, and it stands the test of time. It's a timeless film. It's not a perfect movie, and we'll talk about that, but it's a timeless film because Sam Raimi gave a crap so much about what he was making. And honestly, God, it's why he's one of my biggest inspirations in life. It's because of stuff like this. It's because he loves his craft. He doesn't half-ass it. He doesn't phone it in. He went balls to the wall for this movie, and you can see it through every single frame. So, this movie is about a group of friends who go to stay in a cabin in the woods. No, this is not Cabin in the Woods, but it's about a cabin in the woods. And when they get there, they find a book made of human flesh, and this book has a lot of creepy stuff in it. And they find an audio recording, and they play the audio recording of the man who used to live, the researcher who used to live in this cabin, and he discusses this book and what he discovers that it does. And in this recording, he speaks these magic words that make these evil dead, or as they became later known in the franchise as Deadites, to come after them and torture them and make their lives a living hell until they decide to kill them. This movie's so much fun, guys. It's so much freaking fun. Let's talk about it. So, let's start with my pros. First thing is the camera angles. I love the camera angles in this movie. Sam Raimi does such a great job with the cinematography in this film. This movie, the Deadites are doing that. This movie is a showcase of how cinematography can amplify a film and make something so much better than what it normally would be with just a still, simple camera. He gets all these great creative angles with all these cool Dutch angles. There's this great sweeping shot where you're looking up at Bruce Campbell through the floor and his shoe sweeps across the camera. They had to get into the floor and put the camera there in order to do that. That's how much dedication went into this movie. And it's only on screen for like half a second, but it pays off. Little things like that make a movie great. And he does so many fun, creative things. I love the POV shots of the Deadites like going through the woods and going up to the cabin. Like it's so creepy and it's just so much fun. It makes the movie a million times better than it would have been had they just used simple shots. The special effects are great. There are some things about this movie that don't stand the test of time, but the special effects are great. They're gross, they're creepy, they're ridiculous. I mean, there's squirting blood and like all sorts of weird goos and gushes, and the girls, when they turn into Deadites, their makeup is so creepy. And one of the cool things about it is that these contact lenses that they're wearing made it impossible for them to see. So when they were doing these scenes, they were seeing nothing but black. Dedication, guys. Dedication. I love the makeup and the special effects in this film. A lot of it stands the test of time. Some of it's a little corny looking back on it. But at the same time, they made this movie for like $1.50. So, you know. And I believe it was made in the early 70s. I think it took a while for it to get released, if I'm not mistaken. So you can forgive it for some things. But for the most part, these special effects are still really effective. Like, really effective. There's a really horrendous shot of a girl getting stabbed in the ankle with a pencil, and man, it's hard to look at. I mean, it's great. It's so great. It's so intense. It's so violent. It's so gross. I love it. I love everything about it. This movie defied tropes. So back then, the idea of making a horror movie with a male lead was a big no-no. You didn't do that. If you made a horror movie, it had to have a female lead. And Sam Raimi said, "Nah, I'm going to make my best friend the lead in this movie." And so he made a guy the lead of this film, which, of course, is Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams, who became a much more iconic character after this film, right? This movie is actually scary. This movie is horrifying. Like, can you imagine watching this movie in a basement at 3 a.m. with all the lights off by yourself? I can't, bro. This movie is horrifying. Even though some of the effects are a little cheesy, I still prefer it to CGI, which is why I'll always love this movie infinitely more than the remake. I didn't really care too much for the remake, but this movie is actually scary. So props to him for making a movie that actually scares the crap out of people, and people to this day still talk about how scary this movie is. I'm telling you, this movie's timeless. This movie wasn't afraid to just go for it. This movie is rated NC-17. Yeah, like it's, and for good reason. Like because they just went for it. Sam Raimi said, "This is my movie. I want to do what I want," and he just went for it. He didn't hold back. He pulled out all the stops. He went for it, and it paid off. And it paid off like a mofo. The sound effects in this are great. There's really great sound effects in this. I love the thunder and like the sounds of the shovels hitting the ground. And then when he's clicking his girlfriend, who became a Deadite, to a table because he was about to cut her up, because he finds out in the audio recording from the doctor that the only way to really kill a Deadite is total body dismemberment. And so he's hitting the chains and it's making that cool clack sound. And then it's funny when he opens the shotgun, it makes that same sound effect, which is just hilarious. I don't know if that's just because the movie was low budget or what, but it's funny. The sound effects in this movie are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The exposition in this movie is handled really well. It's done early and quickly. They basically just sort of be like, "Hey, look, here's the book." And then they go, "Here's the audio recording. Okay, cool. Now let's go get onto this fun demon stuff." It's great. This movie is hilarious. Like, it's terrifying, but it's hilarious. I love it when Bruce Campbell is slapping the crap out of his girlfriend who's a Deadite, or like when like body parts are like exploding and like things are like oozing, and it's so funny. It's so freaking funny, and I'm guarantee you Raimi did that on purpose. Like, I know he knew what he was doing. This movie, look, Evil Dead 2 is the greatest horror comedy of all time, but this movie is more of like a straight up horror, but it's still funny in a very dark and twisted way. And I don't think I've ever seen a movie that pulls it off quite like this one. The stunts in this movie are fantastic. Look, Bruce Campbell laid it all out on the line for this movie. I mean, he sacrificed his body. He's throwing himself downstairs and into shelves, and things are falling on him. He's falling on the ground. He's doing all sorts of stuff. I mean, he just went for it with this, and his face is always in camera because, you know, they didn't have the budget to hire stunt doubles, so they had to do all this themselves, and it's great. This movie is so much fun. It's not too serious, and like I said, man, it's just the passion for filmmaking it's there, and you can see it, and it's one of the reasons why I love this art. The Evil Dead is why I love filmmaking. Because they cared so much. I mean, you gotta think, like, the crew for this film was sleeping on the floor in this dirty cabin using recycled water. They were all annoyed and probably angry with each other the whole time. I mean, this was a hard movie to make, but they cared. And so they stuck it through. And to this day, in 2026, this movie came out in 1981, so that was, I can't do math. 40 years ago? Is this year the movie's 40th anniversary? No, it's the 45th anniversary. Holy crap, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, this is the 45th anniversary for this movie. If my math is mathing. If not, I'll correct myself here. I'm terrible at math, excuse me. But yeah, this movie, people still talk about this movie all these years later. That's how great this film is. All right, now let's get into my cons. Obviously, you probably have figured this out by now that I love this movie, so I don't have too much. There's some shots in this movie that are out of focus, like really out of focus, and they're like blurry. After Ash Williams' girlfriend gets stabbed in the ankle, she goes to sleep, and then she sleeps very heavily through a lot of demon chaos. First of all, why would you go to sleep when you're dealing with this situation? That makes no sense. I think Raimi just wanted to like put this character aside for a minute and didn't really know how to do it, so it doesn't really make sense. And then sleeping through all that chaos that's happening in the cabin just makes no sense. And then, like I said, some of the effects are a little cheesy, but you could forgive it, right? Because again, I would much rather prefer this over CGI all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. So that's it. That's all my cons. Not much. Yeah, Evil Dead. It's great. Love it. If you haven't seen it, you got to check it out. It's phenomenal. With all that being said, I'm going to give The Evil Dead a 90 out of 100. And that's it. That's it. I'm done. That's my review for The Evil Dead. I just really wanted to talk about it, and I love my shirt, so this gave me an excuse to wear my awesome Evil Dead shirt. Just felt like talking about this. So this is why I love filmmaking. This is why I do this YouTube channel. It's because of movies like this. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Pod Player Tape for more. Hit the like button. All right? Give me a thumbs up. Appreciate it. Because when I see that thumbs up, I'm like, oh, cool. People like this. That's awesome. That's great. Appreciate it. All right. Well, that's it. I'm done. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Maybe I'll do Evil Dead 2. I don't know yet. I just wanted to do this video. Okay. Bye.